For the wrestling?
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah.
For either of you guys, why did you guys win today?
Because this guy right here, Yutaro Tsukada, scored the goal, won us the game. Special player. We passed him the ball for a reason. He scores a goal. So yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah, for me,
That's why we won.
It's not my effort. It's team effort. We play how we practice, and then I score goal. But yeah, as I say, it's team effort. I'm proud of my teammate.
Yeah.
What did you see on the goal, Yutaro?
I think we press and then we get the ball, right? And then
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
And then I see the space in front of me, and then the center back come out to me, and then fake shot, and then I saw the goal, so just smash it.
For either of you, you guys had a lot of chances there right before the goal.
Yeah.
Was there a thought in your mind of we're getting so close, but we can't quite break through? Is there frustration building, or?
Yeah, he was a little bit frustrated.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But we felt like it was coming, you know. I think really towards that middle part of the second half, we started dominating the game. We were really on top of it. It was stayed in their half for the majority of that middle part of the second half. Yeah, we had a couple chances. Yutaro had one just over the bar. I can't remember. I think we had another chance that almost went in. Yeah. And, yeah, felt like it was coming, and it did. So yeah.
After you get that first one, how do you balance being aggressive to get a second goal and not opening yourselves up for a counter?
Yeah, it's tough, right? You know, you don't want to sit too deep to invite a bunch of pressure, but at the same time, you know, you want to be able to keep the ball and try to control the game that way. But yeah, I think we did it fairly well. You know, obviously NCAA tournament game, it's going to be, you know, they're fighting for their lives. So I think they threw a center back up top to try to win headers, flick-ons. But yeah, I think we dealt with it pretty well. We sold a number of key fouls in the last 10, 15 minutes, to kind of slow the game down, kind of, you know, played at the pace that we wanted to. And yeah, I think we did a good job of controlling it at the end.
Ryan, this is kind of like a maybe sort of obscure question.
Yeah.
But I guess I just want to know in your words how you and Otto impact games and dictate the possession and tempo with which you guys played in the second half.
Yeah. You know, neither of us really get on the score sheet too often, but in terms of like defensive transitions, second ball moments, just playing simple, keeping the ball moving, we're so key in that. You know, I think you saw today, like, me and him must have won. I can't tell you how many second balls, how many flick headers we ended up winning, how many times we stopped a transition moment. And, you know, having two players like that is super important. And I think we kind of complement each other very well. You know, he might go a bit more forward than me, and I might stay a bit deeper. But yeah, it doesn't really get glorified in the score sheets, but for me, I know how valuable it is, and Strats really makes that known. So yeah.
Was this game kind of similar to the Georgia State game, or Georgia Southern game rather, where you guys had 20-some shots and you just couldn't score? You know, you're getting closer to the end. 15 minutes ago, okay, we've got 14 shots or so. How are we going to break through? Because it's not going to end in a draw today. You know, it's going to go out, and Louisville's a good team. There's been a couple games like that where do you guys feel like you have the chances and they're just not coming yet, or is it we really have to find a way to really get a great shot off that will find it back in that?
You know, I think it's a bit different than the Georgia State game, or Georgia Southern, because they had a bit more of the ball. They're a bit of a better team. But in terms of a feel, like especially me, I feel like it's coming. You know, it can be a bit frustrating, of course, but you know, as long as we don't let that frustration get to us, it seems like the chances are just going to keep on coming, and eventually they'll go in. You know, we have to believe that. It can be tough to try to trust that, but you know, like today, he had a special moment, wins the game 1-0. If we can, you know, keep our score at 0, then we're gonna win a lot of games. And yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, I would say, kind of frustrated, kind of not, but yeah.
Ryan, with Georgetown's loss, you guys are home all the way to the Final Four. Obviously, you're focused on your next match first, but how much of a difference does it make to play here? And if you get 3,000 fans, what kind of difference can they make?
Yeah, no, it makes a huge difference. You know, just in terms of belief and the want to run and everything like that, you know, you can't really put that into words, you know, how it affects you, but it does. You know, you feel the energy of the crowd. You know, you feed off of it, and yeah, right now we're focused on one at a time. Not necessarily looking forward to the Elite Eight game. More on this next one, whether it's UCF or Vermont. But yeah, it makes a massive difference.
Yutaro, is it a different feeling scoring the NCAA tournament versus a regular season game?
It's nothing different, but I knew it's gonna be an important game, because if we lose, it's done. So yeah, but it's not different mind. It's the same game. Each game is so important. So yeah.
Yutaro, how much more comfortable are you this year compared to last year?
Last year I didn't have that much of confidence, but this year Strauss a lot of trust me, so I kind of feel like Strauss trust me and also teammate trust me, so I feel I have to do something. So yeah, this year I have confidence with the dribbling, shooting, everything. Yeah, that's a difference.
It seems like the longer matches go on, the better you get, right? You had a second half goal today, you had the penalty against Old Dominion, second half goals in the Sun Belt quarterfinals against Georgia State. Why is that? Why do you get better as games go on?
I try to be better like in the first half, but I learn from the first half. Strauss, every time Strauss tell me like at the halftime, you have to do this, you have to do this. So I learned from Strauss, and then, yeah, it's thanks to Strauss, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'll start with an opening statement. More questions.
Yeah, I think relieved. I think it's always tricky when, as nice as it is to be recognised as a 5 seed and, have that home bye, you do have to wait a little bit longer. There is an aspect of it from a psychological perspective that adds to the challenge. And obviously, they're coming off a win. They've already got one in the bag, if you like, in terms of the NCAA tournament in the first round. So it makes it a little bit tricky. And to be fair to them, I thought they were a worthy adversary on the day. I thought they played very well. Lasted probably longer than we would have hoped in terms of the energy levels. But midway through the second half, I think we started to show the territorial dominance and a little bit more. And obviously got there in the end. They did their best to throw numbers forward and make it difficult, but you expect that at this point in the season. We'll have to manage that a little bit better as we go on. But at this point, obviously, just really, really pleased that we've got that one under our belt now as well. We get another week. We get another home game, which is huge. So, yeah, looking forward to whoever the next contest may be.
Coach, you just kind of mentioned it, but how do you... What's the difference kind of between you getting a week of rest, but they're coming off a win and have some momentum from a couple days ago?
It's huge. It really is. And I think specific to when we play at home, given the size of the field and that aspect of the dynamic, it adds another element as well. So, yeah, as long as you're still in the contest by the hour mark, which obviously we were, then you like to think that it's going to start to take over. And, I think if you were to look at our results and timing of goals, that's often a trend when we play at home is you get to the last 30 minutes of the game and we're the stronger of the teams. Pretty much when we play anyone, honestly. So, it doesn't matter on the quality of opponent, and it was a quality opponent today. So, yeah, a big advantage in terms of the physical component is just, like I said, making sure that you get over the psychological aspect of managing the expectations, the pressure of being the 5 seed, and just understanding that they're all one-off games. And as well as we hope we'll continue to play, you still need a little bit of luck as well.
You said that 60-minute mark there in this 60, 70-minute range there. You had a couple free kicks, a couple corners, and you finally got that goal. Could you tell it was kind of just a matter of time before you got a good chance there?
I mean, you hope. You hope. Yeah, like I said, the game started to favour us a little bit more. I thought we started well. I thought early on the game was a similar kind of picture, if you like. I thought we were the better team through kind of 20, 25 minutes. And when they had a couple of moments to establish possession, they grew their way into the game a little bit too. I think both teams had pretty good chances. Obviously, we hadn't taken ours up to that point, and nor had they. So we were on the right side of that today. And obviously, Yutaro comes through with a special moment, as he's very capable of doing, and that was enough to secure the win.
Dan, the play by Carlos in the first half on the byline, how critical was that?
Which one?
Goal line clearance.
Really, no.
Sort of a breakdown at the back, and Jackson was pulled out. They had a shot. Carlos cleared it off the end line.
Yeah, I was probably more frustrated what had led to that moment. I think I know what you're referring to now. Yeah, sorry, it's come flooding back. Yeah, I think I was still steaming from the fact that we had the self-inflicted wound that had occurred to lead to that situation. And again, that's some of those game management moments that we need to be a little bit better. And again, understand, regardless of context, so whether this is a regular season game or not, just the timing of when we played that free kick and played back centrally to result in the turnover high up. It was, as I said, it was unnecessary and a little self-inflicted. And again, it took me a moment there because I think I was still, a little frustrated that we had put ourselves in that predicament. So you get the luxury of the replays, I don't, right? So I probably moved on to something, or was so passionate about whatever had happened prior to that it erased from my memory.
Did you feel like that Caldera header was a goal?
No idea. I know it was a good effort, good save. It looked close. I said to the fourth official, should we not video review that? And she laughed, and I said, well, it's the same referee we had when we played Marshall with Freddie's clearance off the line, and he reviewed that one, and that defied science. So I was hoping that they would at least have a little look, but yeah, I mean, my gut feeling was it hadn't crossed the line at the time, but no harm in asking, right?
Right. 6 yellow cards today, only 2 of them for your guys, and then 24 total fouls evenly split. I've asked you along the season, your ability to have your team stay level-headed and play a physical game, but not, go over physical and take bad fouls and take penalties, and especially right now, red cards would be the end of the world. So, what keeps your guys able to be level-headed in moments like that, right at the end where you see the W?
I think the consistency of like in terms of how it's reinforced. I think there are principles of play, right? There's the way we want to play with the ball, the way we want to defend. Like, they are fundamentals of what you coach, and what we spent a lot of time on between, if you like, the shortcomings of last season and the start of this season was how you apply them with context and game management, discipline, those aspects of things. Not that it's ever been bad here, but that is an incredibly huge piece that can completely change the game. My impression of the kind of altercation and when they did get video reviewed was that it was one of their players that was looking to at least initiate something, just simply to get the clock stopped, right? Which to some extent is clever from them, but obviously then it led to a little bit more. And for the most part, I think we managed that well. You also, this is a high pressure, high emotion situation where the clock's ticking down and the other team is getting frustrated potentially as well. So you have to expect some situations like that. But we've also been placed in that type of situation multiple times this year, right? It's close to the end against Portland, UCF away, Marshall on both occasions. We've played in enough big games this year where we've had to manage that aspect of things that it should come as nothing new to the players in that regard.
Dan, Yutaro seems like a player who gets better as games go on. Is that simply a skill thing, or is it because he is good at being able to read defenses and make adjustments?
Yeah, I think there's a feeling with Yutaro sometimes. So when he starts to have a little bit of success, you've got to be a little bit more patient with him, give him a greater latitude, and know that there might be some other moments that you won't like, but trust that he's going to come up with that moment. So we've part of understanding a player like that is simply understanding the person and not just the player as well. So how he feels about the context of the game. He got frustrated earlier in the half, and we had to manage a different type of emotion, right? And then we move him back to the left, and they kept changing the fullback, switching the wing back over to mark him. And as I mentioned before, like, Quinton did an excellent job of keeping him locked down, is incredibly tight to him. And that's a good lesson and a good opportunity for us to teach Yutaro a little bit about how he still becomes effective. And Andy suggested that we took him off. And again, he's just the type of player that is just a moment away. He just needs someone to switch off and for him to have a little bit of space, and he can be incredibly dangerous. And thankfully, it came to fruition, and obviously he scores a wonderful goal.
Dan, obviously you're only worried about Vermont or UCF first, but with results today, you guys are here. all the way to the Final Four. If you get 3,000 fans in here, what kind of difference can they make?
A huge difference. We've obviously seen that once already this season. I have to thank everyone that came out today because we had a completely packed stand that was close to a sellout. Like I said, I want to give Ren an excuse or a reason, to put those bleachers back. So hopefully ticket sales go off on the right foot, starting as soon as possible. And if it's not next weekend, given the nature of when Thanksgiving is, hopefully there's another opportunity beyond that. I think we have to use the result there with JMU and talk to our players about that in terms of the motivation that should then come with the idea of you've got 3 home games or have the potential of 3 home games to lead into the Final Four. It does come with an advantage. Obviously, we're undefeated at home this season. We don't lose here often. And it does change the circumstances a little bit as opposed to playing away. So, no, it's a big result and an exciting result for the potential of what could happen. But of course, we'll have to use it the right way in terms of how we become focused for whoever we face next week first.
Coach, your midfielders, Otto and Ryan, how do they allow you to both sort of dictate the pace at which you want to play and dominate possession the way you
Yeah. I said to them at halftime, I thought they were fantastic today. Tired a little bit towards the end, which is understandable given the nature of the game, and they played the full duration, the pair of them. But I thought they were fantastic today. I think they are our unsung heroes, truly. It's so difficult. I was just thinking the other day when we did the Sunbelt Conference Awards that we need to change something there to have a defensive midfielder award or something, because they're valuable for every team, and the way that the modern game includes at least one, most teams play with 2. So I'd like to get those types of guys recognition that don't necessarily get stats. They don't get the accolades for a clean sheet. They don't get the accolades for goals and assists because they're not there either. But they're so important. I thought Ryan Baer in particular in the first half read the play in front of him incredibly well. We set the trap from goal kicks almost perfectly throughout. It arrived to where we expected it to arrive and kind of shaped them to arrive, and that allowed Ryan Baer to be the beneficiary. And then in that first ball, second ball phase, Otto picks up a lot of balls as well. So that was really, really good. Otto's really important just in front of Ryan in those moments, and then Ryan just loves covering ground, and he's just in the right place at the right time to make sure that we establish possession. So no, I really did think they were superb today. There's nothing better than when you've got your 2 captains leading like that, and again it was a conversation about bringing them off and maybe giving them a little bit of rest and rotating and managing them, but they were just so valuable that we had to kind of run them into the ground, which I'm sure they weren't mad about.
concerned with Marcus Neat?
He's dealing with a couple of things, honestly, which is just part and parcel of this stage in the season and the type of attention that he's attracting. He got a bang on the knee today. He's been managing something else and managed it fairly well to this point. So I don't perceive there to be any issues going into next week. We'll wrap him in cotton wool, and if he needs a couple of extra days, we'll give them to him. But no, I think he was fine. I thought he started the game well and looked energetic. I think a couple of opportunities for him where he could have done a little bit better maybe, and kind of got himself a goal. But no, he's still so valuable in even the outlet moments, and we will generally have a lot of the ball and probably have more of the ball today, but there's still those periods of time where we have to defend and play up through him in one pass, and more often than not it sticks, and that was obviously a challenge today given the size and physicality of the back 3, but I thought he did well.